Ahoy, ahoy! I figured I'd just do some live stuff, because, you know, stuff. Just need to calm myself down. I'm very angry today, so yes. I'm going to be inking this one, if it actually focuses, because it's a piece of crap camera. But yeah. Long story short, he's wearing a nose warmer because he's a dick. Yeah, so, let's get this inked. This is actually an image that ended up being created because of an Astro Boy community I'm actually part of, and we were joking about Tenma wearing nose warmers when it's cold. Haha, yes, him. Of course it's him. Also, what happened to this pen? Okay, someone's used it and broke the nib. Sigh. Well. Don't use my inking tools for writing with. I will kill you. Oh, the reason why there's not anything playing in the background this time is because Facebook likes to do the whole, oh, that's some copyrighted material playing in the background. Oh, let's just, you know, destroy your video in the process. So, oh, and also YouTube doesn't like it either when I finally upload these. So, no soundtrack. So I can't listen to relaxing music at all while I'm doing this, which kind of sucks. Oh, this nib is driving me insane. I'm gonna have to go find a replacement. If I can. I did buy like loads more. So excusez-moi for a moment. Enjoy the light. Ha-ha! Oh. That should do it. And that nib can bugger off. Now, where were we? Oh, that's so much better. The frick. I mean, I know Tenma's sexy. I mean, look at that nose. That nose warmer. It's amazing. seriously, that's probably not a good idea to do. And how is everybody then? I keep seeing people sneaking in. Hello, Liz. I see you there. Whoa, lag. Yikes. No, thank you. So how's stuff with you? It's the only way to live. I was wondering when you were going to show up. There appears to be a groove in the paper and this is irritating. Gross. Oh well, whatever. Ah, Galvatron. Be thankful you're not a Bayformers fan and you have to draw all those annoying little details like the corkscrews and plungers and shreds of dignity. Er ist kalt. Don't forget to chase that up with extras. I mean, you know, you want to make sure it's going to work, not just bleach. See, I do admit I'm a little biased about the new movie, purely because I know people who have voiced in it, so it's just one of those things where I'm just like, I'll watch it anyway. Also, oof, my nerves are particularly painful today. One sec. Oh, Jesus, ow. Grip is not good. Seriously, if you were to come over here and, like, tap this pen, it would fly out my hand. Bloody hair, go away. Ooh, words with friends. Okay, what's this? Okay! Just Sydney sending me naughty pictures. Well then. My eyes. Oh, the light, it hurts so bad. Yes, the whole state. Let's just throw it away and start again. I mean, you know, microwaving tea was the first thing that kind of gave me that kind of clue, you know? Tenma, why do you have such big hair? Inking it really sucks. Oh look! Speak of the devil! It's the microwaver. Hello? Yeah. Flock of seagulls and everything, you know. So, I made a Flashdance reference earlier, and this one person just did not get it, and I felt old. Oh, you... No! Put you in the bin. If you're wondering what these extra lines are, it's definition. Don't worry about it. It's not gonna look as crap when I've finished. Well, still look crap, but you know. I made the scene with the chair and the bucket of water reference, and they were like, what? And I couldn't believe my ears. Well, eyes, because it was typed. And I felt very sad. And old. Microwaved iced tea. That's like a paradox. I even was like, what a feeling at them, and they were like, what? And I wanted to cry. Yeah, my creaky hips are just and just kind of like solidify that statement. My name is Dr. Tenma, and I am an angry rooster. I just realised on this very same page is one of the pieces of art that's released today on my Patreon, so I'm just like, oh crap. Well, it's not the finished piece, obviously, but it's the inked piece. So I'm trying to be careful. You know what? Sod it. Wait! There you go. This is just a fine liner, 0.5 millimeters, I believe. Let me just double check. Ink may stain, no crap. Yeah, I think they're 5 millimeter ones. 0.5 millimeter. Because if they were 5 millimeter, that'd be ridiculous. Simple black ink fine liners because I'm a cheap ass. You can, spend all the money in the world on really expensive equipment, but I find these work just as well. Sainsbury's ones. They're like £2 a pack or 3, if I remember. Seriously, it's like people spend so much money on art supplies, but I have always found that even cheap ones just do the job. I mean, you can't spare any expense, spare no expense, on things like markers. Now that is something you do kind of want to invest in, and pastels obviously, and anything like that, but things like this, you can ink just as well with stuff that's really cheap. I mean, this one, the ink's really decent, it's quite a deep colour, and it doesn't bleed too much as well, which is one thing. I mean, this paper is not really made to be inked on. This is, I'm being naughty and using sketch paper because I'm a rebel. But, yeah, as you can see, it doesn't really bleed that much, so... Pastels! The proper way. Talk properly like what I do, duck. If it was pastels, then there'd be an extra L and an E. Ah. Ironic, really. I was just doing something about voice work recently. Set up a contract and you got yourself a deal. Oh, word to the wise. Directors should not have anything to do with the casting process. Just saying. This is irrelevant. Sorry, my mind went off on a tangent. I was just thinking about something else. Not voice work related. I don't know where that came from. Brain. I love you. Yow. See, I'm too lazy. The idea of, well, not lazy, just like particular. It's like anything under my hand irritates the crap out of me, so if I have an extra piece of paper floating around here, I'll just be like, I want to murder everything. So that's why I never tend to use that method. But, yeah, it's a good method. My house smells like ox cheek right now, and it's quite a nasty smell, not gonna lie. Very gamey. Someone suggested that I do a live with cooking, and I'm like, you don't want to see me cook. I'm an angry cook. Anything gets like in my way and I throw a hissy fit. You don't want to see that. Funny you should mention ASMR, because I do that as well. These actually tend to go on my ASMR channels just as not soft-spoken. Oh, Melty ASMR. MELTY ASMR. Oh man, yeah. Here I relax with the classic FM because generally, like at night time, they tend to be very soft spoken. It's just like, oh my brain, it's melting. Hey, Opa, Chuck, what are you doing here? And finally, we have finished his annoying, stupid hair. Except for this little bit here, which I forgot about. Well. Huzzah! Messages! People! It does not work properly on my phone. Oh, a thank you. Hello! Oh, heck, I don't know, actually. Let me just check. It is -1 Celsius, so that's 30 Fahrenheit. See, it's great because everywhere else in the country is like got snow everywhere, and here it's like, oh look, it's all clear. Or like a tiny little gap in the entire country where there's no snow, and it's brilliant. And for the first winter in a while, I've not had any newspapers contact me. And it's damn good. Ah, can we do a story about you thingy? Oh, I bet it must be really difficult in this kind of weather. And what weather? There's no weather. It's just rain and sleet. Keep it there. I don't want it. Horrible thing is whenever there seems to be weather there, we always get it. No! Keep it! No! It's okay, I'll just like somehow arrange to airdrop a bunch of dick candy on the entire country or something, I don't know. I'll figure it out. Make this really bold and messy. Because speech bubbles are fun. We all love fun speech bubbles. And then, the evil bit. La 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 la. Hello. That was a fun noise. Oh, joy gems, yeah. Yeah, again, the reason why there's no soundtrack in the background is because Facebook likes to mute you if it detects anything potentially copyrighted, so you have to be really careful what you do about that. Even with like the simple disclaimer, no, I don't own this, blah blah blah, they still like to be like, oh well, you're playing it in the background, of course. So anybody who plays music in the background will probably get muted. Yeah, she's actually saying about that. We need to do the whole ad libs thing again. For proper one with mouths full of liquid. Although, with me it'll be milk and it'll be very messy, so I'll probably need a bucket. My name is Tenma and I'm an angry rooster. Even though his name actually translates roughly as Sky Horse, Pegasus, Tenma. And his character was solely created on horse jokes, which makes me laugh, despite being a very roostery looking creature. Tenma not bad dad, Tenma did nothing wrong, blah blah blah. Need to change. Oi, 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 oi. I'll tell your phone to stop being an ass and, like, do its job. Otherwise you'll fire it out of a cannon. But Sergey, where is Pin? Oh God, if you can hear, my neighbour is shouting for some reason, and I don't know why. The last few days all he's done is shout. Looks like a little Sputnik. Hello there! Oh, sorry, gotta change angle. I am so uncomfortable right now. Okay, here comes the painful part. I'm not really sure how to angle this because I need both hands to smooth this bastard out. Because edge of the paper, which I despise. But Sergey, where is Pin? Whoa, lag. Heckington. Hello, my name is Edge of Paper. I suck. I mean, I originally didn't intend on inking this. That's probably why I did it down in the corner, but I do make work for myself. Super duper lag. We'll just have to eat banana. And before I forget, I need to add a little. There we go. Neaten the bastard shading out. As you can tell, today everything's bastardous. So pardon. But I'm in a bad mood. So if you wanted clean fun, clean Tenma drawing, that's probably not going to happen. What happened to his eye? Okay, that's better. I mean, I agree, neighbour, but, you know, let's neaten this out a little. And that's all I can be bothered to do. Let's do something new. I'm not sure what the battery life is like on this right now, but it'll be fine, I'm sure. One sec. Oh, yuck. It's a bit wobbly. You know, this is something I've noticed for some reason. It's like wet got to it, but it's never been wet because it's been sealed for the last God knows how long. It's all wobbly and weird. I don't know why, but oh well. It's not like it ruins anything in particular, but... I mean, sometimes the line art can get a bit woo, but besides that, it'll be alright. Won't it? I know someone came in and watched earlier and automatically started with, hey, sexy. And I'm like, well, I know Tenma's sexy, but, you know, come on. Look at that nose warmer and everything. And now I'm stuck. I went to go draw something and the wall got me. Damn it. Roosterish ideas needed. Also, woo, check it out. Yum. I might as well just show you the process of how I draw the bugger. So, basically, I don't even bother with the whole head thing because he's got a weird head. Because normally people do the whole big egg shape, and crossover, blah blah blah. But I just start with the eyes because that's how I know where to place him. And they're like a pinched circle, like that, with a flat bottom. And then the outside of the eye is thicker. And you gotta give him a little eyelash. I mean, come on, you've got to. And then his pupil. And always give him a little shine. like that. Right? And you see where the initial circle scribble is? Use that to do a little eyelid lip. And then from there, you can judge where to put the eyebrow. Always start it from attached. And most of this part won't matter anyway, so just roughly do it in, because his hair's going to cover that. And then what you need to do, from the corner of the eye, do a small circle like that, and that's where his nose starts. Which is another semicircle. And then you do the crease. Like that. And then from the eyebrow, from here, roughly, trace it back a bit. And you can just do a rough line down so you can judge his hairline. Because the hairline starts. There's a very slight bend. And then up. And then, this is the fun bit, because you get to draw lots of circles. So, block out his hair. This is how I usually do it. I mean, depending on which style you're going for, because obviously there are several series and comics and all these other things, depends on the style you're going for. Some draw his hair kind of like that, whereas some block them out as like actual circles and it's all big and chunky, and some actually do it more like this, which is, you know, ridiculous, because let's face it, that's just scruffy and he wouldn't be scruffy. So I'll do it the way I do it, which is extremely extravagant. One circle, 2, 3, bigger one, 4, 5. And then from there, you go down, round, down, round. And this bugger sticks out like a mile. Like that. And then obviously as you go you can just alter the shapes to fit it properly. And then you've got his nose here, right? Now the best way of doing this is to draw like a triangle almost, like that. Just map it out like that. And then you can just do that. Looks like a beak. Okay, it's not focusing because it's a piece of crap. Way! Let me adjust that. Come on, there you go. And then his extra eye, you can just map out like that. Because we're actually going to have him slightly facing this way for a change instead of side profile. And then from here, you can bring this down. And then we can get to work on his face. Right, so small circle for his cheeks because they're not that big. And then you just work down. Now this part, hold on, it's not focusing again. Fuck's sake. Right, so from there, work down. Kind of give it a bit of a curve because, you know, faces aren't straight lines. And then you can do the stop at the chin. Roughly about that kind of space. Now, give him... The chin's not going to matter because that's going to be covered up by his beardage. Now from here, where you've done this slight curve, you're going to need to draw some more circles. So one here, and one there. And then you just sketch the buggers out. And that is his sideburns. And then from here, draw a small line up to about roughly there. And then you can do another circle for his ear, because he has big round ears. Just adjust it to how you need it. And then you do a small arch in the inside the ear, and then a little wiggly line just to give it a bit of detail. And then from here, you need to give him a bit of a jaw. So just a slight bit down, and then down. Like that. And then, you can take this and give him a proper head shape. Like that. Now, because everybody knows you don't... A lot of people do the whole neck thing of that, which is ridiculous because your neck does not start below your jaw. So, what you need to do is, from the back of the head, bring it down. Alright, now, excuse the shape. It doesn't look great at the moment, but you'll see. Alright, so, bring it down. Add a hairline from the tip of the bend of the jaw, and then from the tip of the chin on the left hand side, an extra curve. Give him a nice big neck, mate. And this isn't going to matter much anyway, it's just to plot it out because of the fact that you're going to draw his beardage. Start just above in a triangle, and then from the triangle bring it up in a curve like that, and then down. Pretend it's like the upper part of a star, and then from here come some more circles. Well, actually they're long circles, they're like sausages. So from here, draw a big sausage down, a little bit off, that looks really rude, and then something else off. But make sure that these ones are smaller than these ones and the end. Like that. So these ones are smaller. So when you do this, you can just plot them out like that. Like that. And that's his stupid beard. Now, this side, because he's facing slightly that direction, you're going to need to give him some extra sideburns. So, plot where that goes, and give him some more. And then, because his ears stick out slightly, just add a little curve under the hairline, just for his ear. And as you notice, look, the neck doesn't matter because it's covered. So, brings that down here. And from where you originally plotted the neck, brings that down here. And now, there's always like ligaments in the neck, and I always like to just add a little bit of definition. So from the corner of the jaw, a very slight line down, just so you've got an idea. And then you can start adding in the extra details, like the mouth. Now, his mouth is quite far up, and I generally like to give him a mixture of expressions because he's freaking hilarious. So, this one, Now, shall he smile? Shall he grimace? Shall he be like completely angry? Shall he pout? Shall he be stupid? I don't know. What should I do? I mean, you can just plot out your mouth anyway. I mean, generally it should start from about down about here for him, because he's quite high-mouthed. So what I'm going to do... And then from the... if you end up bringing the mouth this far up, you can add the curve from the nose to the corner of the mouth. It's up to you though. But I haven't decided on what I want to do with his mouth yet, so... let's have a think. You know what? Sod it. Let's just like do something. That's how I'm feeling right now. You see? How about a nice simple smile? Okay, that's a bit more than a simple smile, that's a bit toothy. But oh well, right, give him a lip. Always give him a lip, because he needs lips to, you know, use. What would we be without lips? And then what we can do is just be completely cheesy, give him a proper cartoon grin. And then from here you can do your clothing details. Now what I like to do is map it out from about the beard line, do a small line here, and then what you can do is you can curve it around like that and down to about the end of the neck and down. And then from about this point, bring it down. And then from the point to the other, give him a bit extra. Add the extra part of the collar. And he always wears that really kick-ass cravat thing, so the best way of doing a cravat, map out from about the point of where the collar should join, which should be about here, like that, as you can see. Oh well, if it focuses. on, camera. You can do it. It's not that difficult. Well, anyway, you can see slightly in the blue. Ah, there we go. Right, so here, map out a large triangle. Right? Looks absolute crap, but we're going to sort that out. So, start out by giving it a curve on both ends. Then add the folds as you like them. Now remember, these folds are going to go down as well. So, bring them right to the bottom of the triangle. And from there, you can go whoop, whoop, whoop. Alright, so that looks absolute crap still. So what you need to do is just add a few extra details. And round out the edges. And then when you've finished, it'll look a bit better. So, now what we've done with his collar, obviously we need to rub out the extra bits just so we can see what we're working with. He always generally, in the old designs, well, say old designs, like the 2003 concept art, he used to have these really kick-ass buttons on his collar. Now these are just a simple circle. And they look like a bell really, which is, you know, the old style buttons with the cotton in the middle, everything. And then he's got like these, it's like almost like a elasticated bits that go onto the thing, and I assume that they attach it to so his collar stays flat, which is kind of cool. And then you can just add the details as you need to. Now with the collar, what I always like to do is the line, just curve it round ever so slightly, just so you can see that there's definition. And then add a couple of lines just so you can see that there's like creases and stuff. And then his shoulders, bring them down. And now he's going to need his jacket. So from here, just after the collar, bring a line down. And then about that far away, just here. Alright, so you got this space here. Bring a line diagonally down, and then in. And then out again to about this, and make sure it's level with this. And then that can go inwards like that, and then that's basically the jacket. And then you can just add the details as you want it. You can make him wear anything you want. And then that should come down to about here, which makes it a double-breasted, because it's quite a long thing. And on the other one, you just judge as you need to. Hello. And there you go. And then obviously, if you want to add little details, like, well, you can do. If you want to add little creases. Come on, focus. This is like imperative people know how to draw in. Oh. Oh, nearly had it. Oh. There we go. So, if you want to do the creases, just kind of do that, and then, hey! And then you can add your shading however you need to, blah, 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 etc. If you wanted to add the details of the buttons, just bring it down a little bit and then like that. Now, the inking part, and just go over the lines that you're happy with. Obviously, don't go over the planning lines, because then it'll just look ridiculous. Now, Tenma has very shiny hair, so I always like to plot a few shine as like parts as well on his hair. So, I mean, there are two ways of doing this. You can either, let me just show you. Alright, so it's the curve of his head here. So, the way that a lot of the time I use is just a simple two-circle thing. Oh, for feck's sake, focus! Like a two-circle shine, and then you just ink around it. Or, the other method, which is actually in keeping with some of the concept art. So you draw the line, the shape of his head, and then you draw another line really close to the edge. And then you draw the two circles, but then what you do is you bring an extra line around, like that. And then what you do is, obviously, you ink around that shape. It doesn't look quite as cool, but and I'll just show you how I generally tend to keep to it. So small one, large, longer one. And then you can add ones, obviously, to his fringe, so you can do like that, and a little one. One. Always make sure that you follow where the light's coming from as well. So, obviously, if you're doing them on this edge, you don't want to do it on this edge, it'll be this side because the light's coming from here. Same with shading. And same with the sideburns, always make sure it's on one side only. And then obviously as you go along, you can make the adjustments, because obviously planning lines are not set in stone, so. And then if you want to, you see how black's going to overlap there, and obviously black's going to overlap here. Now what you can do for that is add an extra gap like that, and like this. And obviously don't make it too wide. And what that'll do is it'll give you some white definition to show where, obviously, the details are. Because when it overlaps, obviously it's going to look confused and it'll look like a big block of black shape and it won't look very great, but I'll show you what I mean. This is just a simple fine liner that I picked up from a supermarket. Like I did mention earlier, you know, you can spend a fortune on art supplies, but generally, when it comes to things like this, I find that cheap stuff works as well as the expensive. Spend a lot of money on your markers and a lot of money on your pastels, that's all fair and good, because you get what you pay for with those. But with things like this, it doesn't really matter all that much. At least I've found. There'll probably be like other artists who are like, oh no, you're crazy, where? But everybody has their own preferences. But yeah, as you can see, it gives it a little definition. And yes, that fart noise was my mouth, don't worry. But yeah, just ink as you need to and then go from there. Now, I don't recommend inking a whole block of colour with your fine liner. I just do it because I'm lazy. I'd recommend getting like something that's going to cover the whole thing really quickly. I mean, there are some artists out there like who do ink full block colour with their fine liners, but it can ruin your nib a bit. If you press on too hard, never ever press on too hard with one of these, which is another reason why I like it, because of the fact that with my absolute rubbish grip with my nerve conditions, it means that I can ink really, well, not well, but you know what I mean. I can ink without having to hold on to it too tight and press. And I find that this method really helps break up the monotony. You just section off little bits and just colour them in as you need to. And then you're like, yes, look, I just coloured another section, way! Also, there is some serious lag going on, so if you ask a question and it seems like I'm not answering it or ignoring you, I'm not actually ignoring you, because there is a severe lag from when you post something to when it shows my answer, so I'm not being an ignorant chat, don't worry. Oh yeah, another piece of advice, always try and shade and colour in the same direction, so since I'm using this angle I try and stick to it. I mean, sometimes I don't. Let's face it, you've seen me colour in all directions. As long as you smooth it all out and make it look neat, it's okay. It's just generally when you're inking and colouring, it's a good idea to stick to a direction. And I will warn you, if you draw Tenma a lot, which, I mean, I doubt any of you will, but he's a drain on the ink. I've already gone through 4 pens in the space of a few days just from drawing a few pictures of him. Because of this. Which is why, like I say, I recommend finding a nice thick pen that you can just ink with for his hair, because as you can see, this does take a while. If you do follow along with this one, I want to see what you do, because, you know, I'm nosy. I want to see how well the method works for other people. When this is obviously posted to the wall after I've finished this live, you can go back to the tutorials. I'll probably highlight it as well, just so people can have a nosy. Plus I'll be uploading to YouTube, so it'll be there as well. And yeah, because there's no soundtrack, they can't get me anymore. Yeah. They'll probably find another reason. I don't know. They'll be like, I can hear blooping in the background. That's like Discord blooping noises. Oh, it's their sound file. Whoa. Because, you know, petty. Okay, seriously, focus. Thank you. I have a feeling when you get messages from people as a result of these and they're like, oh, such and such went live just now doing an art thing as well. How does it feel to know that somebody's copying you? It's like, what? No one's copying anybody. It's... No one owns the rights to doing a Facebook Live drawing. I mean, come on. That's just petty, man. I'm not even going to reply to that, to be honest. That's just... No, I say do more lives of drawing because not many people tend to. If you've got the stomach for it, do it. You don't even have to respond to any of the comments, just pretend like you're just drawing and that's that, and you haven't got a camera pointed at it. Because I know a lot of people suffer with anxiety and stuff. I mean, generally, I don't like being watched when I'm drawing, which is funny, but I can do live broadcasts without much trouble because I can kind of disassociate it, if that makes sense. Whereas in real life, if anybody looks over my shoulder, I get all defensive and like, no! There have been times actually when I felt really weird about it and actually screwed up the drawing and just been like, nah, not doing it anymore. Rather, go fornicate thyself, preferably with a cactus. Or perhaps a broken teacup. But seriously though, don't do that, it hurts. We don't want another rehash of the guy with the jar, do we? I mean, come on, let's face it, that's just wrong. Oh, it's starting to hurt now. Oh yeah, the cushion thing. That's a nice dent. Not an Arthur dent either. Voon. I expect so. As you can see, I've kind of broken my rule of one direction thingy. No, not that kind of one direction, but you know what I mean. The direction of the inking kind of broke that rule already, as you can probably tell. Naughty me. It doesn't matter, like I say, as long as it looks neat enough and inked properly, it shouldn't even show. And if you can hear my stomach, it's probably because of the fact that it's 7:30 at night and I haven't eaten yet. As you can see, I deviated from his original eye sketch. I figured a little bit of a change might make it look a little bit better. So that's what I say. When you finally do go to ink, you can alter it as you go. See, much better. Now with the nose, now with regards to lining, there are certain details that I will do a thick line on, just to define it, but I generally tend to keep those to the outside, just to, you know, make it pop a bit more, but some certain ones I will define better because then it looks different. More, hold on, I suddenly lost the ability to speak then. Basically just because it looks a bit better. Not much. And again, as you can see, I did it a little higher than the plan line, just so. So when you rub it out, it's a bit of a better shape, right? Let's give him a bit of a different kind of grin to what I planned. And as you can see, I've just basically rounded this off instead of making it look super straight. Also deviated slightly from that to make it a bit lower. Now, what you can do with this, instead of giving it the actual button look, let's do something else. I'll show you what I generally tend to do to make it look like a metallic kind of look. So, you can do it one of two ways, which I'll show you here just quickly. Hold on. Actually, I'll do it in pencil so I can rub it out. Alright, let's just do some crappy little circles just so I can show you. Right, one method is you can just do another line very close to the initial line, like that. So that's the initial line. And then you can just scrub in some shading like that. Or you can just do it freehand, but you need to have a bit of pencil or pen control for that. Looks like eyes. Woo! Personally, because of the fact that I'm used to the pen, I just do it freehand. But I do recommend oh yeah, don't worry about that. Just a private message basically saying about the fact that somebody else had gone live doing an art live stream and that they were copying me. And I'm like, oh, piss off. I don't own the rights to freaking live streams. It's ridiculous. Excuse the language, but you know, whatever. So yeah, keep it close. And then you can just neaten it up like that. And then what you need to do then is just do very slight swipes. And then what I generally tend to do is a little wiggly bumpy thing just there, just to make it look a little better. And then if you want to make it a bit closer to the edge, just neaten it up a bit. Like that. Alright, let's just get the beardage done. I mean, I know they probably meant well when they sent that message, but it's just, I don't really know what to say about it, to be honest, because it's a bit silly. It's just doesn't make any sense. It's like anybody can go live these days, and they can do what they want on their live streams, obviously within terms of service, but if they want to do live streams, then heck yeah, do it. Like, art live streams especially, because so many people just don't do it. Do it! And just like magic, it's done. As you can see, again, I deviated from the initial plan line and gave it a little curve so it looks a bit more natural. And then you can bring it round, ding. And then you can add the detail. Now with this cravat, now this is going to be the bit where you need to actually think about where you're putting your lines, because you don't want to make it look rubbish. I mean, as you can see, this is pointy. What you need to do is smooth it out, because you don't want a pointy piece of cloth. So, obviously stick to your plot, but round it out. So, like with this, like that, right? And then with your lines, bring them down, make a small little line like that, and then round. And then that way, it looks a bit better, doesn't it? A little less triangular and weird. I mean, obviously, depending on the fabric, depends on like the shapes you can make with it. But it depends. I mean, I always assumed that this was like really light fabric, because let's face it, in that GIF, GIF, PIF, whatever, it's sort of like ripply and nice. I'm probably gonna get somebody like angry messaging me now. Oh, it's pronounced GIF. Oh well. And so you'll have it. And then obviously, when you rub out your lines, you can see the basic shape. And then what I generally tend to do, because obviously this leads on from that, but because it's fabric and it's clothing, what you want to do is you want to draw a slight line just to differentiate it like that. Just so it pokes up a bit, so you can see that it's separate from everything else. Like that. Then round off the edges with that as well, because just ever so slightly, because otherwise it looks, again, unnatural, not fabric-y. And then from there, a little lower than the collar. I should do an Ionia one of these one day. How to draw the giant blue butt. Whoa, 15% battery. Oh, crap. And then obviously you got your lines just there. Better hurry up with this before the battery dies. Gulp. Again with the buttons, you can do the metallic thing. It's metallic though. Like that. And then what I generally tend to do with buttons, because, you know, fabric on his chest would pull tight because his chest is like... So I like to add a few little creasy bits. Like that. Just so it looks like it's straining a little bit. Nips. And then the other side, just repeat what you did on the other one. And just make it look a little bit like fabric. Oh yeah, can't forget his other collar bit. I'm just gonna rush this bit now, so just before my battery runs out, because heck. I need a full tutorial, right? After all. And then you can add little details like fabric lines and all that balls. And then after you've done that, you can rub out all the nasty little lines. Like that. And then you can just shade the crap out of him eventually, you know. I mean, just to give you an idea of shading just before my battery goes, I always like to add a deep shadow just under the eyebrow like this. and then obviously bring it lighter as it gets out like that. Same for, like, obviously you need to do the shadow under the hair as well. Now, because the light source is going that direction, always shade on that direction. For example, his schnoz should be shaded on that side. And then the crease here on that side. And because this cheek goes up like that, it'll cast a slight shadow. So I need to shade it on that side. And slightly under, because that'll cast a shadow as well. Like that, you see. And then the same with the ear. So because the light source is coming down this direction, this part will be shaded. And this part will be in the shadow slightly. And then on the inside, because it's quite a deep thing, always add a little bit of shading to the inner bit, because it will be in shadow. And then the bottom of the ear as well, because the light, you know, that direction. Same with under the chin, so it's basically all that part here. So draw yourself a little line like that, shade in. And then lighten it as we get out, that way. Oh yeah, and the little line that we drew from the corner of the jaw down for the ligament, add a little shade to that as well. Like that. And then anything that's going to be in the dark, just shade the crap out of it. And then obviously, the side of his face, you've got the hair that's coming down, and the nose, which is there, and the side of the face, which is going to be in shadow. So a lot of this side will be, except for this little apple of the cheek, which is slightly lighter. Oh, look at me using proper terms like apple. Next thing I know, I'll be saying décolleté and all that crap. And I'll start going on about, oh, this is, oh, look, it's so pigmented. Okay, because this will be in shadow as well. His tags on this side, just slightly. And then this side will definitely be in shadow. So, let's give him a little bead. And then his lip will also slightly be in shadow and under the schnoz. See, alternatively, if you wanted to keep your plan line for the nose, you can actually use that to help shade it and give him a little wrinkle at the top as well. Like this. Just so his eyebrows look a bit more defined, like grr, here, here. And obviously you've got his, the crease from his cheek, and then you can add in your own little shading. You don't even have to follow like your lines, just like that. Look, I've just added a little shade there where there's no line. And obviously this part of the hairline will have a very slight shadow. And then his lip and chin. So the chin, think of it as like a circle, and then shade around the circle like that. Now with clothes, you can add as many folds as you want. I mean, obviously you can follow the lines or whatever, but generally just remember whether it's darker or lighter as well, because obviously you don't want it the same kind of shades as your face if it's a darker colour. So any of these folds here with like the under part, give them a nice dark shadow. And then just remember where your light source is, so coming down that direction. So this side of them will be the darker part. And then obviously the shadow from the beard as well. And you just shade that in as you need it. Now, as for these like little grooves here, you can shade those in slightly darker as well. Just slightly, just as you go. There's no happy little trees though. Yeah, as you can see, right, just shade this in darker than the rest so it looks defined. And so it looks like there's an actual crease there. Like that. And the same for this side. And then you can just adjust it as you need to, add an extra layer over the top, just make it a bit darker. It's the great thing about pencil, if you start off light, you can build the shade. Like that. And then just to show you how I cheat with some of my shine, get your rubber. And yes, it's called a rubber here in Derbyshire where we talk properly. And then you can either do circular shade and just rub out a little bit so it looks like silky stuff. Or you can do the hair shade. Let me just show you quick. So the hair shade that I do is really cheaty. You just wipe it through it. But yeah, that's that. And I'm going to leave it there because my battery's about to die and it'll just look really crappy if it just ends there. So I will finish this and I will post it up on my art page as usual. Which you can find as The Art of Rachel Prince, because I use my maiden name because I am lazy and I can't be bothered to change all my graphics. So, I shall see you again soon.